Hi, I'm Chris J, and I'm looking for my friends Mark S. and Helly R. Have you seen them? I walked up and down the corridors here at Lumen, but things feel a little different. Oh, I gotta go before Miss Huang notices I'm gone. But if you see Mark, Helly, Dylan, or Irv, could you let them know that I miss them? Mark and his friends learn the dire consequences of trifling with the Severance barrier, leading them further down a path of woe and mystery. So the second season of Apple's trippy, mysterious thriller Severance has arrived, and true to form, it's just as wild and confusing as the first season. The innies and the outies were cognizant of each other for a brief moment, and now the team has to deal with that aftermath, questioning everything, including the motivations of Lumen and the board. Now, I was given the first 6 episodes of Season 2, and I'm going to keep this somewhat brief because I don't want to get into any spoiler territory. And that's combined then with the fact that I have zero clue as to where the story trajectory is taking us. Now, Episode 1 starts off with an amazingly creative and immersive continuous take. Now, it may not actually be a one-shot, but it is edited to appear seamless. Ben Stiller returns to direct this one and some of the other episodes, and he has a special flair for capturing the absolutely uncomfortable and awkward nuances of characters and situations, exploiting them so that there's this general unease while watching, but it's also completely undefined. I mean, I'm weirded out while watching, but I'm not exactly sure why that is. The characters, they're a bit off, and the settings are also annoyingly symmetrical and sterile. But this is all works then to create an environment that comes across as ominous, even if it may be benign. But following the events of Season 1, it's kind of hard to see the entire situation from a rose-colored perspective. Something sketchy is going on. I just don't know fully what or why. I love the spunk and orneriness we're getting from Adam Scott this season. While his character was increasingly pushing the boundaries with his curiosity, this season he is way more brazen in his efforts, driven by the small awakening that he experienced at the end of last season. The other characters we come into contact with this season are just as tenacious and inquisitive, leading to some hilarious exchanges and suspenseful encounters. Now, to add to the intrigue inside Lumen, some settings have been shifted around, which leads to new and odd adventures for the characters. There's one sequence in Episode 3 that is quite strange, even for this show, presenting us with a tense encounter that felt a bit like the Lord of the Flies. And I love, too, that because the innies and outies have shared memories now, the story uses this as an opportunity to introduce relational complications that lead to some moral dilemmas. Some of these are awkward or cringy. Others are a bit painful and heartbreaking, showing us that neither portion of the person is experiencing the ultimate positivity in their awake state. Each episode contains enough drama and mystery to make weekly watching worth it, but if you're also waiting to binge a bunch of episodes all at once, that's a very rewarding experience too. Some of the story portions leave us dangling, frustratingly leading us to this edge and then not allowing us to see over it, until the next week when the storytelling resumes. And the show continues to have a mildly angry or at least melancholy tone to it. Some of that is because of all the unknown and undefined, but some are also due just to the relational issues that arise. Mark was confronted with some shocking knowledge at the end of Season 1, but this also then creates conflict and emotional upheaval for his innie, who was having a completely different set of experiences and budding relationships. And this season continues to explore how relationships are affected by the severing of consciousness, serving as sort of a cautionary tale against wanting to separate the mundane portions of our lives from the active or more alluring elements. Now, from a cast perspective, we still have a lot of the original characters present in some fashion, even if it's just through flashbacks or memories. But we also get some new additions that add to the quirkiness of the players. People like Bob Balaban, Gwendolyn Christie, Alia Shawkat, John Noble, Olafur Dari Olafsson, and Merritt Weaver show up, and they're all excellent in their roles. So from what I've watched so far, which is the first 6 episodes, the second season of Severance is off to a weird and engaging start. The storytelling continues to be perplexing and cryptic, using captivating characters to build intrigue while also delivering uncomfortably undefined complexities. The set designs are exquisitely crafted to create a sense of perfection, compounding the dread for what could arrive if that perfection is not maintained. The cast is wonderful, maintaining their cohesive and dysfunctional dynamic that brings their endearing characters to life while also making us question what true motivations might be. If you were a fan of the first season, you're going to love the second. So far, it's been a wild ride, and I can't wait to see more of where this leads. There's sex, no nudity, some profanity, and some violence. And while I can't rate the entire second season, I give the first 6 episodes 4.5 out of 5 couches. I mean, this continues to be one of the most creative and strange shows of the last several years, and I hope we get to see this through to its conclusion. So do you have a favorite character in the show? Mine is probably Dylan, especially this season, but I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.